Burnout is a soul problem. And in order to take care of your soul, you have to go deeper than a facial and a walk outside. Hey, friend, welcome to the Disrupting Burnout podcast. I am your host, Dr. Patrice Buckner Jackson, but you can call me PBJ. Friend, you are in the right place. Here at Disrupting Burnout, we are giving you the tools to disrupt and beat burnout so you can love your career and your work again. Friend, we get it. You're in the right place at the right time. We speak your language. We know what it feels like. We know that caring and serving in a compassionate way can cost you in your body, in your mind, in your spirit, in your relationships. And this is your place to come to be refreshed. This is where you get refilled. This is the place to be revived. This is the place to fill your cup so that you can serve from your overflow. Friend, I'm so glad you're here and I'm ready to get started. How about you? Let's get into it. All right, friend. Listen, we're here for some real talk this week. I've got to share with you. I am so tired of people putting a bandaid on burnout. I hear it all over the place that people are just handing out prescriptions and resolutions for burnout, and they are surface level, right? We got to go deeper than that. So today I want to talk about what will not cure your burnout. And listen, I'm not saying that these things don't have merit in and of themselves, but when it comes to burnout, it's just the surface level. All right. So let's talk about it. Let's be real. Let's open this thing up so that we know we have to go deeper. Burnout is about much more than the four things I'm about to share with you today. Let's go for it. So first of all, burnout is not about your calendar tactics. Friend, I've told you all this before. So when I got married in 2012, I got all of the things in 2012. I got married. I became a stepmom, Mama Patrice. That's what my baby calls me. I got a promotion at work. I was working on my doctorate. I had all the things in 2012. And that drove me to the place of, okay, wait a minute. I've got to figure out how to manage all the things that I have going on right now. I need some help. So I had a friend to share an app with me called Toodle-Do, which I still love. And Toodle-Do is kind of a calendar hack where it helps you compartmentalize all the things that you're responsible for. So everything in my life has a folder in Toodle-Do, and I can put a deadline on it, right? So when it's time for that deadline, my phone buzzes like a text message, and it reminds me to do the thing: buy the trash bags, buy baby girl a pink shirt, book the flight, whatever I need to do. It's great. But that calendar hack did not prevent me from hitting rock bottom burnout in 2019. Did it relieve some pressure? Yes. And the challenge is when you find something that relieves the pressure, you think you've resolved the problem, but you're only dealing with the symptoms, not the root of the issue. It's just like taking something for the sneeze when you really got the flu, friend. So yes, there's nothing wrong with calendar hacks, and you can find them all over the internet. I'm sure that people will recommend them. I recommend some myself, but I need you to know that a calendar tactic is not going to resolve your burnout. Burnout is deeper than just what's on our calendar or how we manage our calendar. And that's why here at Disrupting Burnout, we talk about more than just your calendar. So we can't just talk about calendar tactics to cure your burnout. Number two, burnout is not about resilience. I need to take a deep breath on this one. because it boils my blood just a little bit. Most of the folks that I am reading, listening to, talking about burnout, they want to talk about resilience. And I understand why. But here's what I've found in the folks that I'm coaching, their problem is not that they don't know how to be resilient. Their problem is that they've had to be resilient too often. The people that I'm supporting, they know how to fall down and get back up. They know how to be pushed into a corner and fight their way out. They know how to trip and fall and get back on their feet. It's not that they don't know how to be resilient. They've had to be resilient too often. They've had to be resilient too often. They've had to bounce back so often that their bounce back is broken. So we cannot just talk about resilience because we've been resilient and we have fought back and we have stood back up and we have gotten back in the game and jumped back into the ring, and we're tired. We're tired. So we cannot just talk about resilience. You know, there's a bonus one that just popped in my head as I'm talking to you. We cannot just talk about self-care. The solution to burnout cannot be a facial, a walk, getting enough sleep. Are those things good? Absolutely. Are they necessary? Yes. Do they disrupt burnout? They do not. They do not. How many times have you gone on the vacation and come back and burnout was waiting for you at the door? How often have you taken the walk outside, gotten some fresh air, and come back and you're still in the midst of it? Do you need those things? Yes. Yes, you need those things as a part of your daily life, as a part of the way that you exist in this world. You need to take care of yourself. But we've already talked about this. You need to go deeper and do soul care. Not just self-care, but your soul, your mind, your will, and your emotions. Burnout is a soul problem. It's not a physical body problem. It's a soul problem. Self-care is about taking care of your physical body, and that is absolutely necessary and required. Burnout is a soul problem. And in order to take care of your soul, you have to go deeper than a facial and a walk outside. Hey friends, it's Dr. PBJ, and I have something exciting to share with you today. I am coming to a city near you. Yes, that's right. I'm coming to see you, to your local coffee shop, to a church fellowship hall near you. It is time for us to be in the same room together. Virtual online is fine, but there is nothing like being in the same place on one accord, supporting each other. So here's what I need you to do. Go to drpbjlive.com. Get signed up on the wait list. Make sure you send me an email. Dr. PBJ, don't leave my town out. I cannot wait to come see you. Go get signed up today. The next thing that won't cure our burnout is talking about new normal. And I believe that we are kind of moving past this conversation now, but I just need to remind folks that we are very much still trying to figure out how to live after a global pandemic. We are very much still learning what normal is. For my educators, your students are not the same. Your colleagues are not the same. You are not the same. Whatever you learned in your education, the game has changed. The people who taught you did not have to teach in these circumstances. It is all different, and it is going to take us years to learn. We need to give ourselves grace because it will take us years to learn what normal is now. You know, I think back to Hurricane Katrina. Hurricane Katrina hit New Orleans so many years ago, and you could go to New Orleans today and still see evidence of Hurricane Katrina because recovery takes a long time. And not just recovery, which we need to allow. We need to allow recovery. But I'm here to tell you that the pandemic did not create a burnout. Friend, you were tired before 2020. You were surviving before 2020. So even though crisis is a magnifier, it shows us who we are. It's not a creator. It just magnifies what's already there. So did it take us to another level of burnout? Absolutely. But it is not the root of the burnout problem. We were already tired. So new normal is not the solution to your burnout. The last one I'll give you, work-life balance. If I hear it one more time, I might scream. I'll say it again myself though. Work-life balance is not the solution to burnout. And as a matter of fact, it is not realistic and it's not fair. How many times have you asked someone, how are you? I'm just tired. You okay? Yeah, everything's fine. I'm just tired. They're not saying they need a nap. They're saying that they're tired because they're trying to balance all of their things at the same time. Work-life balance is like taking on your work responsibilities and then your family responsibilities and then your school responsibilities and your community responsibilities and then your responsibilities to yourself and holding on to all of it, all at the same time, all the time. All the time. If I decided that I was going to hold on to all of this weight, all of these responsibilities, all at the same time, continually, at some point, I'm going to drop something. And it doesn't mean I intended to drop something, but because I am human with limited capacity and limited strength, I cannot hold on to all of this stuff all the time, constantly, without something falling. You forgot the birthday, forgot the t-ball game. You didn't meet, you said yes to the community engagement and then you couldn't show up. You said yes to the committee and then you felt overwhelmed and couldn't do a good job. It's because work-life balance is unrealistic. Humans can't do it. Take your superhero cape off. The answer is not balance. It's never balanced. Something is always going to have more of your attention, more of your time, more of your energy. It is never balanced. And the expectation that you can balance is unfair. It's unfair. It doesn't work in balance. What happens is, as we go through our life, we determine moment by moment. It's moment by moment. What is most important in this particular moment? So in this particular moment, I'm going to hold one responsibility. I'm going to hold this responsibility of speaking to you through this podcast in this particular moment. It doesn't mean that I am not Edward's wife, that I'm not baby girl's mama Patrice, that I don't have a whole business and a staff and all the things. All of those things are true. But in this moment, I have dedicated myself to share with you. And I am going to give you the very best that I got. And I'm going to hold on to this responsibility. And I am going to serve well. And friend, when our time here is up, I'm going to release that responsibility and I'm going to pick up the next one. It's not about balance. It's about choosing the priority of the moment. What have you chosen to give your energy to in this moment? And you give it all you got. You allow your mind, your body, and your spirit to be there in that moment with you. And when it's time to switch responsibilities, you don't feel guilty about it. You make the switch and you do the next thing. And sometimes that switch happens before you planned it. Maybe there's an emergency. Maybe somebody desperately needs you and you have to make the exchange quicker. You have to put something down to pick something else up. You don't feel guilty about it. You just do it because that's where you need it. So it's not about work-life balance. It's not about calendar tactics. It's not about resilience. It's not about self-care. And it is not about new normal. Burnout is a soul issue. And in order to disrupt burnout, we have to deal with the soul, the mind, the will, and the emotions. And that's how we do it here at Disrupting Burnout. We get to the root of the issue, not just dealing with the symptoms, but we want to get to the root. We want you to beat burnout for good so that you can love your work, your career, and your life again. That's what we're doing, friend. And if you're down for that, I'm going to ask you to continue to join us. Come back next week. We'll still be right here, getting to the root of the issue. See y'all later. Now, hold on, friend. Before you go, I want you to share this episode with somebody in your life who you know needs it. And you know we can't leave without this. I always have to remind you. I need to remind you. You are powerful. You are significant. And you are loved. Love always. PBJ.